You know what's destroying your peace of mind right now. It's not your circumstances. It's not your bank account. It's not even your current situation. It's this toxic belief that you're running out of time, that you're behind, that somehow, somewhere, there's an invisible finish line and everyone else crossed it while you were still tying your shoes. I need you to hear this. You are not late. Look around you. Sarah from high school just bought her third house. Your college roommate just got promoted to VP. Your cousin just had their second kid. And there you are, scrolling through their updates, feeling like you missed some memo about how life is supposed to go, like everyone else got the instruction manual and you're just winging it. But here's what nobody tells you about those highlight reels you're comparing yourself to. You're watching other people's chapter 20 while you're still writing chapter 5, and somehow you've convinced yourself that means you're failing. You don't know their full story. You only see the moments they choose to share. And here's the thing that's going to sound harsh, but needs to be said. Your obsession with their timeline is stealing energy from your own journey. Every minute you spend comparing is a minute you're not spending creating, growing, or building the life that's actually meant for you. Life is not a race. I need you to really absorb that. Life is not a standardized test where everyone gets the same questions in the same order. Some people bloom early, some people bloom late, some people bloom multiple times, and some people's most beautiful seasons come after what looks like complete failure to the outside world. You want to know what happens when you start operating on other people's timelines? You make decisions that aren't right for you. You rush into relationships because you think you should be coupled up by now. You take jobs that don't fit because you think you should be further along in your career. You move to cities you don't even like because it looks like the right step on paper. And then what happens? You end up living someone else's life. You end up being successful by standards that aren't even yours. You end up achieving goals that never mattered to you in the first place. That job you didn't get led you to the one where you met your business partner. That relationship that ended freed you up to focus on yourself in ways you never could before. That year you spent figuring things out gave you clarity that your peers who rushed ahead still don't have. You know what people who peak early miss out on? The character that comes from struggle, the wisdom that comes from taking the long way around, the resilience that comes from having to rebuild, the authenticity that comes from making mistakes and learning from them. Some of the most successful people I know didn't hit their stride until their 40s, 50s, even 60s. Colonel Sanders was 62 when he franchised KFC. Vera Wang was 40 when she entered fashion. Laura Ingalls Wilder didn't publish her first Little House book until she was 65. But this isn't just about famous people. This is about your neighbor who found love at 45 after 2 divorces. This is about your friend who went back to school at 35 and found their calling. This is about the person who started their dream business at 50, and it finally clicked because they had the life experience to make it work. Your timeline is not their timeline. Your season is not their season, and thank goodness for that, because the world would be incredibly boring if everyone was doing the same thing at the same time. Here's what I want you to understand about divine timing. Everything that's meant for you will find you, but it's going to find you when you're ready for it, not when you think you should be ready for it. And sometimes being ready means going through things that look like delays, but are actually preparation. Maybe you're single right now, not because you're unlovable, but because you're learning to love yourself first. Maybe you're unemployed not because you're unemployable, but because you're being redirected towards something better. Maybe you're struggling financially, not because you're destined to be poor, but because you're learning lessons about money that will serve you for the rest of your life. The universe has a funny way of giving you exactly what you need exactly when you need it, even if it doesn't look anything like what you wanted when you wanted it. Stop trying to force your life to look like someone else's highlight reel. Stop putting pressure on yourself to achieve things just because other people your age have achieved them. Stop treating your life like it's supposed to follow some universal template that nobody actually gave you. Your job is not to catch up to anyone. Your job is not to prove that you're on schedule. Your job is to show up authentically to your own life and trust that you're exactly where you need to be, even if where you are feels messy or uncertain or incomplete. What if instead of asking, "Am I behind?" you started asking, "Am I growing?" What if instead of asking, "Why haven't I figured it out yet?" you started asking, "What am I learning right now?" What if instead of looking at where everyone else is, you started appreciating how far you've come? Because you have come far, even if it doesn't feel like it. Even if your progress looks different than you thought it would. Even if your timeline got completely derailed from what you originally planned. You survived every hard day you've had so far. You've adapted to changes you never saw coming. You've learned lessons you couldn't have learned any other way. You've developed strengths you didn't know you had. That's not falling behind. That's growing up. Your life is not supposed to be a carbon copy of anyone else's. Your struggles are teaching you things that their easy path never could. Your delays are building patience that their quick wins never required. Your journey is making you into someone their journey never would have created. So, give yourself permission to be exactly where you are. Give yourself permission to not have it all figured out. Give yourself permission to be a work in progress on your own timeline. The right opportunities will come. The right people will appear. The right doors will open. But they're going to happen in your time, not anyone else's time. And when they do happen, you'll be ready in ways you never could have been if they had happened earlier. Trust your timing. Trust your journey. Trust that your story is unfolding exactly as it should, even when it doesn't look like anyone else's story, even when it doesn't match the timeline you thought you wanted. You're not late. You're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be. And that's not just okay. That's perfect.